So I'm an academic researcher, and I study a lot about how people sort of deal with feedback in the work environment among each other, how they give feedback, but also how they bring in feedback from customers, from the outside world. How do you bring in that feedback and how you learn from it within the company? And so I'm curious in general, but also specifically in these times, how do you manage that? Do you have systems for this? Is there some sort of a leadership style to encourage this, or does it happen naturally?
This is at the heart of our business. Our business is built around a why, a purpose, which is to make a difference in markets that are underserved and overcharged. It just so happens we're in telecom and data centers and cyber. And for us, with that purpose around markets that are underserved, we are all in on the work that was done by Fred Reichheld around Net Promoter Score. Because what it has done for us, we had this founding purpose, but until that research came out about 12 years ago, it was very difficult to measure customer experience, and even more difficult to compare customer experience with other companies' experience in your industry or internationally. So being able to put a single number on Net Promoter Score number, in that minus 100 to plus 100 scale, was very powerful because there was one truth. Whereas previously we had, like companies have had for decades, which is those very long surveys with many, many questions. In our case it was like 50 questions. And when we first introduced it, there was a view that we should just add that question to our 50 questions survey.
I've seen that.
But then I said, but the whole thing is the ultimate question, right? It's meant to be the one from which everything else flows. And only then, when we replaced it with one question, we got one truth. But to your question, the magic for us was not just adopting this, but adopting that research in its entirety. We adopted also their advice around the fast feedback loop, the idea of the supervisor ringing within 24 hours and finding out the reason why the score was there. But also we adopted the idea of complete transparency. And that, I think, is one of the bits of magic in our success around Net Promoter Score. Today we have the highest Net Promoter Score of any ASX listed company, and certainly the highest of any telecom company in the world. The most uncomfortable part for us was originally sharing it internally. And you really can't move within Macquarie without seeing a rolling screens all over the office. They're above the photocopier, they're above next to the bathrooms, they're in the lounge rooms, they're above the workplace. And we have these rolling scores that provide Net Promoter Score for all parts of the company that we think might be interesting, by business unit, by product type, by geography. And within an area, we give the Net Promoter Scores for team members relating to the NPS scores related to the work they've done. So it's very transparent, based on a very high sample rate, and that transparency, without question, is key to our success.